Mabuhay at maliyaw. Ating ng Presidential Communications Office, ito po ang kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas, kung saan tinatampok ang mga nagawa at mga napagtagumpayan ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno sa administrasyon ni Presidente Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Ako po ang inyong lingkod, Rene Carbayas ng Philippine Information Agency Region 11. At mga kasama niyo kami tuwing Martes alas 9 ng umaga at live stream po tayo sa ating mga online platforms sa Philippine Information Agency Davao Region, Facebook pages, at PNA Davao Region YouTube channel. Kaya bago lahat, i-follow at subscribe na ang aming social media pages at i-like and share ang live stream na ito. Ngayong ika-26 na episode ng Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas na sabay-sabay ay sinasagawa sa buong bansa ay tampok natin ang Local Water Utilities Administration na kinakatawa ng Davao City Water District at ang Tigos Water District. Ayon sa mga dalubhasa, ang tao ay mabubuhay ng mahigit isang buwan na walang pagkain, ngunit 3 araw lamang kung wala siyang iniinom na tubig. Napaka-importante at likas yaman ang malinis na tubig. Ito'y iniinom natin, ginagamit pang hugas, pangligo, paggamit na pagluluto, at marami pang iba. Kaya ang dalawa nating panahugin na kumakatawan sa 2 water districts sa ating ay nagbigay ng panahon upang ibahagi ang kanilang mga programa. Okay. So, kasama po natin ngayon ang ating mga panauhin. Mga panauhin po natin from the water districts na kasama natin sina Engineer Franklin Retes, General Manager ng Tigos Water District, at si Ma'am Mildred Aviles, tama po ba? Aviles, CPA, DMHR ang din, ang General Manager ng Davao City Water District. Magandang araw po sa inyo, Engineer Franklin and Ma'am Mildred. Pwede naman mag-araw. Yeah, so ngayong araw po, pag-uusapan po natin mga accomplishments ng mga napagtagumpayan ng inyong mga distrito o water district, mga organization or office na tinatawag ng agencies. Susunod po natin siguro kay Ma'am Mildred, ma'am. Pwede na po kayo mag-present ng inyong accomplishment reports.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat, nandito sa hall at those viewing online. So on behalf of the Board of Directors and the strong force of Davao City Water District, we are honored to be invited in the Kapihan sa Bayan. Today, I will present the highlights of our accomplishments and the direction of DCWD as the major and the government-owned water service provider in Davao City. And these are the talking points of my presentation. Allow me first to share the salient points of Davao City Water District's identity. It is among the first water district created by the virtue of the Provincial Water Utilities Act of 1973, mandated to provide water and wastewater services to Davao City. It is the largest water district in the country, and it operates as a government-owned and controlled corporation. We are led by our esteemed Board of Directors representing the civic, education, business, women, and professional sectors, and our organization is composed of hardworking public servants distributed across different roles and functions in the operations, technical services, administration, and finance. As of October 24, 2024, DCWD operates 13 water supply systems serving around 260,000 service connections and 87% of which are residential. With this service coverage, DCWD is already providing water to 66% of Davao City's total population, and that's covering 117 of the 182 barangays. The areas not yet served by the Davao City Water District have their own water service providers managed by their respective barangays or associations or private water service operators. To provide affordable and safe water to the Davaoenos, we have been able to establish these water systems facilities in our 51 years of operations. And just last February 2024, we were able to augment our water supply through a joint venture with the bulk water suppliers, the Apu Agua Infrastructura Incorporated. And as a water service provider, among our priorities is to develop dependable sources that we can tap. With the combined capacity of both of our groundwater and surface water sources, DCWD's production capacity stands at 709,000 cubic meters per day. On an average, we only utilize 370,000 cubic meters per day, or 52% of our available supply. Of this, 25% is generated from our underground water sources and 75% from our surface water. This means that we have 48% of our production capacity, or 345,000 cubic meters, as reserve. The reserve water comes from our groundwater sources, since we are only operating 30 of the 74 production wells. And this strategy aims to give our aquifers the opportunity to replenish so we can prevent the irreversible damaging effects of over-extraction of the groundwater. With these supply dynamics, not only are we capable to absorb the anticipated growth in water demand, but we also have redundancies and contingencies to ensure water supply availability amidst changing climate and weather. In 2024, we are proud to say that our customers are enjoying abundant, reliable, affordable, and safe water supply, with 95% of our customers enjoying 24/7 availability. For the remaining 5%, although there may be instances of low water pressure to no water within the day, these customers still get water supply within a 24-hour time frame, estimated to be around 12 to 18 hours. To improve their water supply availability, DCWD has lined up mainline improvement projects complemented with operational adjustments. So, what then is Davao City Water District's direction with respect to the increasing water demands, considering that Davao City is poised to become a world-class metropolitan? If this is our current water demand in our existing service coverage area, we project that in 2033 we will be able to cover 143 barangays, catering to the water needs of 2.3 million Davaoenos. With this increase in service connections, we are anticipating a water demand of 606,000 cubic meters per day. So, how are we going to cope with this? In our development plan, the targets are to develop additional storage facilities, more water sources, lay additional pipelines, and to expand our reach to nearby cities and municipalities that have challenges in securing water sources. With the mentioned development plan, this is the direction of our water service in 2023. Note that this expansion is aligned with the development trajectory of Davao City as stipulated in the local government's development plan until 2045. As for us to achieve all of this, we would need around 21.4 billion capex. So for us to achieve all of this, we would need a 21.4 billion pesos in capex, which we will generate through these water bill payments and that we collect from our customers. Note that DCWD is a government-owned and controlled corporation that does not get any funding from the local or the national government. Lastly, as a water utility, we also put premium ensuring water safety and security. Water quality is our top priority. That is why we have procedures in place to ensure water safety from the source to the customers. Our state-of-the-art water quality laboratory has strict quality control measures in place that analyzes and monitors the physical, chemical, and microbiological properties of water. The primary goal is to guarantee that the water we provide is the Philippine national standards for drinking water, the benchmark for drinking water safety in the country. To sustain our water resources, we have been protecting and rehabilitating the watersheds identified to replenish our sources through the Integrated Watershed Management Program. And through this program, we have already fully rehabilitated 1,455 hectares, or 93% of the combined project sites in Mount Talong, Colipadas, Calagos, and Mount Tipolog, Tamugan, with the help of our community partners that reside in the project sites. Lastly, in partnership with the city government of Davao, we have ventured into the Davao City Septage Management Program in compliance with all existing national, local environment laws and regulations to reduce pollution attributed to untreated septage discharge and to improve water quality, sanitation, and public health conditions. In this partnership, the city government will ensure the strict enforcement of the Davao City Septage and Sewerage Management Ordinance. And to help the Davaoenos comply with the ordinance, specifically the regular dislodging of septage, DCWD will provide a reliable, affordable, and efficient septage management service. With this service, DCWD will take care of the septage collection, transport, treatment, and disposal. To carry this out, DCWD will conduct rapid technical assessment to efficiently map out the dislodging schedule, deploy state-of-the-art vacuum trucks that are scale-proof, and to put up 3 septage treatment facilities with noise and odor control technology. For an operation that will be able to accommodate 800 cubic meters of septage per day, DCWD is investing 1 billion pesos. Our first plant, with a 100 cubic meters per day capacity, is already slated to be operational by the second half of 2025. So in closing, Davao City's potential for growth and development is immense as it sustains its reputation as one of the most livable cities in the world and as it strives to become world-class. So Davao City Water District is committed to be the city's partner in these endeavors by providing quality water and wastewater service with utmost care for the people and the environment. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Thank you.
Daghang salamat po, Ma'am Mildred, for that expanded report regarding the accomplishments in ating Davao City Water District. At this time, we'd like to request also Sir Franklin for the report ng Digos Water District. Go ahead po, Sir Franklin.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity for giving us the time to participate in this kapihan ng Bagong Pilipinas. And also for us, the opportunity for the Digos Water District to present to the Digos centers in particular, or in Region 11 in general, pertaining to the what has the Digos Water District done with our community. So, firstly, as mentioned by Ma'am Mildred, Davao City has a service connection of 260,000, wherein the Digos is only 27,000. They're practically 10% smaller than the Davao City Water District. Also, the Digos Water District is the same with the Davao City Water District. It's a government-owned and controlled corporation. We have the board of directors, headed by our chairperson, Attorney Ulita Apilio and Anyo. It's a sectoral representation. So it's the same. However, the we are different, or we are different from Davao City. So the Digos Water District is it's aligned. We are aligning our direction towards the sustainable goals of the United Nations. It's particularly on Goal 6, which is provision of clean water and sanitation. So it's aimed to ensure the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. So the Digos Water District is geared towards that direction. So accordingly, the Sustainable Development Goal, it ends on 2030, that by 2030, 100% of our population should have access to clean water and sanitation. So the Digos Water District is aligning on its program. Where in fact, the Digos Water District, in coordination also with the local government of Digos, City of Digos, who has already passed the sewage management program of Digos City. As of the moment, we're still looking into the possibility of the city donating us the land. And also, with this direction, the Digos Water District is committed to ensuring that every home, business, and government institution has access to safe and potable water. So what have we done? By the way, the Digos Water District is we are envisioning that to be the leading water district in innovative delivery of safe and potable water to every firm and household built on sustainable development and excellent workforce, of course, no? So we have, in order to achieve those sustainable development goal, we have to envision on this thing. The Digos Water District is covering 22 out of 26 barangays. We have 4 barangays which we are, it's difficult for us to cover since these barangays it's located in high elevated areas. Though they have existing barangay water systems, and by next 2 years, probably we can cover this one barangay on the Barangay Malapa. Next. The active connections from 2020, we started from 23,781. As of the moment, as of October, we are 27,000 service connection, and hopefully we will be achieving this by the end of December 2024. We could reach up to 28,081 service connection, or it would be more or less 28,081 households to serve the Digos community. So covering 53.08% of the households of the city. Or if we look into the population served, we are approximately serving 139,000 residents that would benefit the access for safe drinking water of Digos City. So, how does the Digos Water District operates in terms of water quality? It's very vital since Digos Water District is providing potable water. We are ensuring 100% compliant with the Philippine national standards for drinking water. So we do the daily monitoring and even taking samples of our microbiological tests in order to ensure that our water that goes into every household is safe and potable to each and every one. Our infrastructure projects, as of the moment, we are operating 10 pumping stations, and hopefully by the end of the year, we will be adding 3 pumping stations to be commissioned. We have 10 booster pumps. By the way, we have pumping stations, and those pumping stations, the Digos Water District source out from groundwater. So we rely too much on the groundwater. Unlike Davao City, they have the surface water and the groundwater. So we have these booster pumps, which in order to serve those communities which are highly elevated areas. No? So unlike those in the lowland, pwede lang sila doon sa pumping stations natin. Meron tayong mataas yung elevation bigla eh. So, we need those booster pumps in order to serve those communities with 24/7 safe and potable water. And we have also 10 storage tanks. No? That's ranging from 2 cubic meter to 2,400 cubic meter capacity. Okay. So, how the Digos Water District contribute to the to the programs of the government. No? We also have this employee generation from 2022, from the President started, we have 193 employees and workers. Up to, as of the moment, as of October, we have 214 employees and workers that is connected to the Digos Water District. So the Digos Water District remains steadfast in the vision in serving the Digos citizens. No? In doing so, the district contributes to the global pursuit of Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which is ensuring clean water and sanitation for all, while securing a future of water sustainability for generations to come. So the Digos Water District, we go with this mantra now that Digos Water District is service is our business. That's the mantra of the Digos Water District. And good morning, everyone.
Thank you, Engineer Franklin, for the accomplishments ng Digos Water District. So at this point, mga answers, before we will entertain questions from our media partners, may mga kaunti po ako mga katanungan. So, balik lang po natin, basic lang muna po. Napaka-malaking concern po sa mga concessionaires, yung syempre bayan. Bayan. Ano po ba ito nag-compute yung tubig? Paano po yung charging natin? Paano ito na-determine? Ano po yung proseso nito? Siguro itagdag ko lang po yung tanong na kung sa elektrisidad meron silang excesses na binabayaran pa rin ng taong bayan, yung mga may water wastages pa din ba na dumadaan or nawawala na binabayaran pa rin ba ng ating mga concessionaires?
Thank you for the question. So how are rate increases determined? Generally, the water district is not profit-oriented. So our water rates is just enough to cover our operational expense and our capital expenditures. So the procedure there is that we determine the rate and then we apply it to our regulatory body, which is the Local Water Utilities Administration. From there, they will evaluate our proposal, and then one of the requirements that the water district has to comply is that we have to undergo public hearing. In the public hearing, we are going to present to the public the water rates and how we are going to spend or invest the proposed rate adjustment that we are trying to get. So from there, the Local Water Utilities Administration again will evaluate our proposal, and then they will be the one to approve whether our proposal of the rate adjustment is really to adjust or not. So the need to adjust the water rate, nasa kanila po yun. And then from there, the water district will implement rate adjustment.
Okay. So that's correct na yung sinabi ni Ma'am. So kailangan it's a rigorous process talaga if we have to apply for the water rates adjustment. So we have to present also the justification of that water rates adjustment. We have to consider, kasi yun nga sinabi ni Ma'am, we are not an income generating, we are not a profit-oriented corporation. No? It's a government-owned controlled corporation. We operate on our own. So yun, we have to make sure that yung mga water rates adjustment, ibabalik din sa mga tao. So meron din kami mga proposals on the capital expenditures. Usually, meron tayong 10-year plan on how we go about it. And in addition, also yung sinabi mo, sir, like comparison natin sa electric mo. Kaya, di ba meron sila kasi pass-on rates, no? They have their systems losses, which they charge on the customer. Now, in the water district, meron tayong tinatawag na non-revenue water, which hindi namin yung pinapass on sa concession. The water districts, kami ang nag-subsidize ng non-revenue water. In fact, yung mga sinasabi natin na subsidize, no? Yung nga na-mention ko earlier, yung tinatawag natin, meron tayong booster pumps. So, imagine we have some areas na pang-tatlo natin binuboost yung meaning from the source towards the storage, from a storage to another storage, from a storage to another storage, then to the concessionaires. Yun, ano na siya. Kung tingnan natin doon, malaki yung operational cost doon, but inano yun, hindi yung parang that portion of community, iba yung ano nila, the same talaga, subsidization ng business.
How about yung mga nagbi-business ng tubig? Siyempre, will that be an opportunity na makapag-income pa sila out of your resources or out of your services, like from mga washing, mga resorts, or kung may resorts dependent sa tubig from the water district. So, ito mga nagbebenta ng mga tubig. So, how do you get into the picture na hindi sila masyadong mahal kung nag-charge?
Okay, thank you again for the question. Meron kasi classification ang mga water users. So there's residential, there's commercial, and sa commercial classification we have 3, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, and 2. Meaning, yes, so that's the factor rate. That's the factor rate. So meaning, pinakamababa ang residential because we cater mostly to residential. So yung mga nagne-negosyo, may sarili silang rate because they can pass it on to their customers. So depende po, ang mga car wash, I think it's 2.0 because they're into business. Tubig ang pinaka, produkto nila to be able to operate their business. So may sarili silang rate so that they can factor that in their charging to their customers.
May dagdag sir?
That's correct. That's correct po. Kasi nga, yung ano talaga, yung priority talaga ng water district is yung residential. Yung sa Digos, we are approximately serving 90% of our concession at our residential. So yun yan, sinabi, yung mga refilling stations, yung mga car wash, they are classified as commercial. So yung nila, yung rate nila is double than the residential concession.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Both Digos and the whole city are growing in terms of population. So population-wise, dapat future-proof ang ating mga water systems upang matugunan ang lumalaking populasyon. Ano po yung mga long-term natin na projects, lalo na sa Davao City Water District po, ma'am? Itong Aqua, ano na po ang ating gagawin na mga programa?
Okay, thank you. Ang maganda dito sa Davao City, we have 2 sources. The groundwater, we are abundant with groundwater as well as we also have this surface water. This is in joint partner with Aqua Infrastructura. So that is why that is the strategic decision that we have made to use both underground and the surface water to be ready to any calamity. So in case that there's an issue in the surface water, like turbidity and the other causes, lalo na maulan ngayon, we still have the underground to operate so that we can continue the service of filling water or providing water to the Davao City. In terms of projects naman, we are not stopping looking for other sources, especially our underground, because as we said kanina, it's only about a certain percentage of only we can. Davao City is a big city, so there are still areas in Davao City that we have not served yet, and we are going there. There's going to be another system up to 2030. There will be other systems that will be put up there. So that's why our underground sources, or looking for these sources, we are not stopping until ma-serve namin yung areas that we have not yet served. As to Aqua naman, we are, as everyone knows, we are in contract with them with the 30 years, so hopefully it will sustain our projections. Will be able to, Aqua will be able to help us in providing water to the city of Davao.
Sir, Digos naman po.
Okay, thank you, sir. Actually, we have this 10-year plan, capital expenditure 10-year plan, we have these two prong objectives. First is the first objective is we have to ensure the availability of water supply. Because as of the moment, yung last namin na board meeting, yung dito suffers na the utilization rate of how we utilize the resources. No? We're reaching up to 84% of utilization rate. Meaning, that's good, Davao City, ang utilization rate nila na nasa 52% lang. Kami umabot na kami, saturated na, umabot na kami sa 84%. So we're looking into that at the end of 10-year period, from 84%, we will be bringing it down to 50% na lang. So meaning, it would have a abundant water supply to these settings. No? And the second, yun, naka-align yung mga kuha namin, yung mga programs, capital expenditure programs, such as yung well development talaga, yung drilling of wells, and looking for alternative sources such as yung surface water. And yung second objective natin is na-mention ko kanina, yung non-revenue water. We have to reduce the non-revenue water. So converting, in order, kasi kung eliminating the wastage of when we operate the water supply. So meron din kami mga programs that we're looking 10-year period, no? That we're looking to reducing the non-revenue water. As of the moment, we are almost 23%, or less than 20% yung non-revenue water. And we're looking into reducing it to 20% or 19% if possible by the end of 10 years.
Medyo na-amaze si ma'am doon sa figures, ma'am. So, sa
Congratulations with Digos Water District is 23%. We are quite high, the number is quite high. We are 36%. Our target is that we are able to reduce our non-revenue water to 30%. Hopefully at the end of the year, which is, I think is impossible already. But to lower our non-revenue water, we have investment of around 500 million just to lower our non-revenue water. Kasi po tama po yun, one way of being water to be available is to reduce your non-revenue water.
But as a government-owned and controlled corporation, you are expected also to you turn over certain revenues to the national treasury at the end of the day, at the end of the year. May mga ganun ba? And if the government provides subsidy?
We do not get any, the water district do not get any subsidy or funds from the government, whether it's the national or the local. And we do not also turn over anything to them because what we spend is what we generate. So kung ang revenue natin ay ganung halaga, hanggang doon lang din po tayo. Yes, so self-sustain is supposed to be ang water district.
Kasi po wala naman, hindi naman ang direction ni water district is not, yun na sinabi na ni Ma'am kanina, it's not a profit-oriented. It's not an income-generating corporation. We live there. The water district exists because of the law, the enabling law, which is the PD 188. That is provision of water in fact sanitation. That slowly, the water district is going into serving also the sanitation, which is towards the sewage management program natin. So, kaya wala we never have yung mga grants from the government, wala. So, pag hindi namin makaya yung makita namin, we have this loan program, no? Pwede kami doon sa LOA. Kasi si LOA is ang mandate niya is finance and technical support sa mga water districts.
Yeah, yan din ang siguro ang religion dun sa tanong na what is the role of the LUA sa inyo ngayon and how do they manage or so far ano yung nagiging mandato nila for the water district so far?
So far, yun nga, yung sinabi ko na they will be providing us financial and technical assistance. So if then go pag they will be offering us loans, no, for financial assistance. Pero in the form of loan at lower interest. Oo, babayaran din namin. And also, sila yung regulating body namin. For example, if we need, no, kasi yun nga sinabi ko, we have this, we're looking into 10-year, paano namin ma-support it, paano natin ma-sustain yung operation. So, kailangan namin mag-increase. Kasi nga, for example, sa Digos, yung last increase namin, that was more than 10 years ago. Yung price of commodity noon, mura pa, especially like the electricity. Kasi the Digos Water District depends on the power supply. Kasi nga, yung source namin are groundwater. So we have to extract it using pumps. No, so now, we have to seek muna the approval of law before we go into magpa-increase kami ng water. Yun ang role nila. Tsaka, sila din ang provide ng mga technical assistance. In fact, meron sila SILOA, meron sila mga advisors by area na sa amin.
Thank you. At this point, mga kababayan, let's welcome some questions from our media partners. We would like to acknowledge the presence of some of our media partners here, ang Brigada Balita ng Davao, ARCOM, Philippine News Agency, Kadangpan Digital, we have DXUM, Mindanao Times, PTV Davao, XFM Davao. So we'd like to ask from our media if they have some questions. We start with Armando Feniqueto of RP, Radio Pilipinas.
So, ma'am, tanong ko lang po, it's because for 51 years and in the past months, decades, years, ang dami reklamo with the DCWD, especially kung mag-brownout is nawawala yung supply ng tubig. And right now, parang this past few months, napapansin ko, parang wala na masyadong reklamo. I don't know if it's because of the bulk water facility or ano lang talaga, may nabago na ba sa system. Right now, may genset na ba yung mga production wells natin, especially dyan sa may Dumoy area?
Thank you. Sa ngayon, wala pang genset ang aming mga production wells because as of today, we don't find it necessity already since Davao Light and Power is very efficient in providing us, stable in providing us the necessary power as well as ang Apo-Agua naman since it's gravity in serving us. So, hindi rin ganun kataas ang konsumo ng power. As far as naman as the complaints of our customers, so magandang improvement talaga ang nangyari noong nagkaroon na ng surface water with Apo-Agua. Yung dati nating District 2, in which our problematic area at the time because of the quality of water, is now serving our surface water na po yan. So, we are already serving them 24/7. So, less na po ang experience namin as far as complaints from our customers, especially on District 2.
But still, ma'am, do you have any contingency plan po if ever na magsak ng power lines doon sa area and then may turbidity that time?
Yes po, yes.
May contingency plan in place for this?
Yes. In case there's turbidity and there's a shut-off from the Tabugan or from the Apo-Agua, we have naman 74 production wells in which we are only using around 40. So may mga standby wells ngayon which are in A1 condition na anytime that the power is off or the supply from the Apo-Agua is shut off also, we have the production wells in standby.
Last question na lang po, with regards po dito po sa mga private water concessionaire natin dito sa Davao City, do you have any control from them for them? Ano ba kayo control dito sa kanila? Especially yung madalas na nirereklamo na Water Works.
Okay, ang water district naman hindi na exclusive. We don't have exclusivity in providing water. So, meron din naman mga guidelines that the subdivisions or developers are following. So, they have to provide water to the subdivisions that they are developing. If the subdivision would like to turn over their water supply system to the Davao City Water District, they have to pass our standards. So, kailangan yung mga developers ay makapasa, no? Yung kanilang water supply system must be within standards. So, hindi pwede yung mga undersized na water pipes, gano'n. So that ready po sila intend to turn over the supply because some providers naman would like to operate on their own.
Follow up na lang naman is because curious ako dito. For example, by ano po ba, dumadaan din po ba sa inyo yung pipe laying ng mga private concessionaires natin, no? It's because parang yung mga homeowners gusto nilang kumawala doon, it's because it's too expensive na. Pero yun nga, hindi pasado sa standards nyo yung kanilang parang linya ng tubig.
Yes, kung dumadaan po sa water district yung mga plano nila because that is the requirement of the local government. Pero before they can be approved of their development plan, we have to approve their water supply system.
So for example, for DP Water, sino nakapasa sa standards kaya hindi ma-turn over sa kanila? Why is this happening?
Kung hindi po sila makapasa, because meron din naman po na hindi talaga dinadaan sa amin. Meron din po ganon. So, risk na po nila yun. In case they would like to turn over and then we were not able to inspect the water supply system, it's their risk. So, they have to we have to approve their water supply
There's no
system.
liability for this.
No.
I think
For us not, I don't know with the local government. For the water district na.
yung how yung role ng sorry, follow ko lang yung sa role ng mga homeowners association na will basically will homeowners association have a say also kung ano yung service na ibibigay ng kanilang developers in terms of water system.
Yes, of course, no, dahil sila yung consumer ng water.
So they can basically demand if gusto nila na turn over na sa water.
Yes, they can. Actually, marami ng ganoon, maraming homeowners that would like to turn over to us. But our requirement is that the water supply should pass our standards. Because if we accept them, we are going to go inside already of the subdivision and then maintain already the piping and the system and the lines. So they have to pass the standards of the water district.
Thank you. We will hear from Sir Jason of PGB for his next question. Will be followed by Gio of Manila Times.
Good morning po. May question po ma'am, ma'am, kumusta po yung adoption ng ating mga clients when it comes to the electronic billing po? Are we paperless 2024 na po ba sa DCW?
That's the direction of the water district to go paperless, but we are still on the process of being accepted to paperless because marami pa rin sa atin ang gusto hawak talaga ng papel para for them to and then some of us, lalo na mga seniors according to them, na nahihirapan sa technology. So we are trying going that way, but we are still maintaining yung dati nating mga traditional system of billing and billing our customers, so sending them the actual bill.
Pero may percentage na po ba tayo yung sa mga nag-avail ng e-billing?
E-billing, actually, kakaunti pa. So, wala pa tayong 10% actually. So, but our marketing is trying their best na talagang paperless na ang ating e-billing, no? But hindi pa masyado marami yun. We are not even more than 100,000 enrolled in e-billing. So medyo mabagal, pero we're getting there.
How do we encourage yung ating mga clients po?
Yes, through Facebook, our public information, madalas lumalabas siya sa mga ating mga ano ba tawag dito, yung press releases natin, no? Public information dissemination, balik-balik yun so that our customers will be informed of the direction of paperless. But we cannot force them Marami pa rin talaga. Maraming situations na binabalik sa amin, paano kung ganito, paano kung malayo kami. So those are being considered also.
How about sa legal savings, sir?
Sir, yung sa billing system natin, wala pa tayo yung paperless. It's a legal bill. So, we're looking into strengthening yung ano natin sa sa technology natin, sir. Kasi bago lang ako naupo sa acting general manager, yung pina-priority ko kasi yung ano natin, yung source talaga. Kasi we're facing ngayon sa Digos yung claim ng mga tao sa walang tubig, no? So yung na-address namin yung source devolution. So next, patutulong naman talaga tayo. But then we cannot do away also with yung paper kasi the Digos Water District is meron tayo ngayon sa ISO 9000-2050 version. So, meron yung tinatawag na records generated, so kailangan din natin yung mga records. Yes. But nevertheless, we're looking into that direction. So,
Last question po, sir. Both po sa Davao City and Digos City water districts, kumusta po yung monitoring natin when it comes to water meter stealing po nangyayari sa ating mga clients?
Dito sa Davao parang dumadami. No? Dumadami ang
Saan nila gagamitin yung meter?
binibenta nila siguro or pinupunan nila kasi meron component doon na bronze or so kinuha nila or the plastics. No? So ngayon we are monitoring closely, no? Kinakasuhan talaga namin yung kukuha namin pero mahirap din, no? Kasi minsan huli na nanakaw na, nakuha na bago tapos imbestigahan. So, pero iniimbestigahan at huhulihin talaga, kakasuhan talaga ang lahat na nanakaw na metro.
sa Digos mo po. Actually, yung hindi naman gaano lala yung stealing of meter, no? Siguro nangyari yung long time ago, but then ang ginawa ng Digos Water District is we have this reward system kung sino yung makapagtuturo doon sa kaganakaw ng mga metro, which is parang effective naman, nag-reduce yung stealing. So masyadong very rare lang yung nangyayari na nagnanakaw ng metro po.
Si Gio na, of Manila Times muna. Gio. Sir Gio. Siguro one last part siguro kay Sir Gio at this section po ng ating kapihan. Go ahead, Sir Gio.
Okay. Question kay ma'am. Ma'am, kumusta na yung bulk water sales service that was launched last month ata? How is it na ma'am yung bulk water? Is it going well ba? Or do you have reports na nakulangan ba ng tubig sa municipalities?
Yes, thank you. The bulk water service came about because we have excess water now. So we would like to sell that. So we are offering now 70 pesos per cubic meter to private chandlers. So yung mayroong mga water tank selling to other municipalities. Sa ngayon naman, marami na din. And they are getting for Panabo, Tagum, and even delivering water to Samal. So,
How about sa mga remote areas, ma'am? We still, continue to provide those areas with the bulk water?
yes. Actually, meron din kumukuha for those areas that we have not served. So, meron din bumibili doon. Meron din naman. We are actually trying to extend that also, to other municipalities like Panabo, Tagum, Carmen. Kung meron dyan mga water tankers that private business supplying other like hospitals, restaurants, schools, they can always get water from us and deliver to them at 70 pesos per cubic meter.
When it comes to especially sa panahon ma'am na nag-aulan na, what would be your advices during those times, especially pag, storing water, mga ganon, do you still advise pa rin, ma'am?
Yes, we should already kasi ayun ang direction din namin, no? Lalo na kung yes, we have the water, but sometimes it's better to get ready yung ating mga households because when turbidity sets in sa Malago, sa Tamugan, and then we have noticed that they are going to shut off for a few hours, then with the households affected should get ready na in case that it will prolong. But so far, our experience naman is only mga 4 to 5 hours max yung naman yung mga yung interruptions. And by then, bumabalik naman yung service ng Aqua, as well as we are ready also to operate our production wells in case there's a prolonged shut off of the supply from the surface water.
Thank you.
Yan mga kababayan, itutuloy po natin ang ating interaction with our media partners sa ikalawang yugto ng ating kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Sa ngayon, magpapasalamat po na tayo sa ating dalawang general managers sa inyong presensya at sa paghahatid ng mahalaga, wasto at napapanahong impormasyon sa ating publiko. Maraming salamat po sa panahon at sa oras, ma'am and sir. So, napakinggan natin ang mga kaibigan natin sa Digos Water District, ang Davao City Water District, at nakita natin ang pagsusumikap nila para maihatid sa ating mga tahanan ang malinis na tubig para sa araw-araw nating gamit. Kaya ating pahalagahan itong likas yaman at huwag po nating aksayahin. Muli sa ating mga media partners on-site at online sa Department of Information and Communications Technology Region 11 sa pagsisiguro sa connection, yung Wi-Fi connection natin, maraming salamat po. To our production team, ang Blueworks Studio para sa kagamitan pang produksyon live stream, daghang kaayong salamat. Sa ngalan ng aming Presidential Communications Office Secretary Cesar Chavez, ang aming PNA Director General Kathleen Chloe De Castro, at ang buong pwersa ng Philippine Information Agency Region 11. Ito po si Rene Carbayas. Magandang araw at ating itaguyod ang Bagong Pilipinas, ang Ping Tadamaw. Balik po tayo sa ikalawang yugto ng ating programa. Ito pa rin ang kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas sa ating spillover. Binibigyan natin ng oportunidad para sa karagdagan mga katanungan mula sa ating mga kaibigan, ating mga media dito at sa mga sumasabaybay online. Kaya po, simulan na po natin, ma'am. Kasama pa rin po natin si Engineer Franklin at si Ma'am Mildred sa kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. So, continue tayo kay Sir Julius of Brigada. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, good morning. Sir, kay Engineer Franklin. Sir, ang Davao City Water District may water. Ang Davao City Water District ay may bulk water service. Ang Digos City po ba, sir, ay laban na tayo kailangan or naghahanap na tayo?
So far yung Digos Water, we rely on the groundwater source. Siguro we will be looking into the next 5 years, looking into other alternative sources of water. Kasi nga, yung Digos ngayon is parang nag-migrate yung ibang mga tao sa Digos. Digos is slowly developing on parang residential area. Marami na in fact, Digos, yung ano natin, yung mga subdivision, they are sprouting in Digos City. Kaya nga, yung mga sources natin, kasi we rely on groundwater. So, meaning we dug on the deeper. So, medyo mag-saturate na siya in the next 5 years. So, we're looking into alternative sources such as surface water. However, yung ano natin, yung capital outlay, medyo capital outlay extensive ano talaga yung projects yung ano yung surface water. But yung sa bulk water supply, siguro wala pa muna wala na consider pa na dito sa district. Kasi yun nga sa 10-year plan namin, ma-suffice pa yung mga sa natin, yung tayo ang mag-develop sa mag-finance no, sa mga sources of water.
Kay Ma'am Mildred, ma'am, yung mga fire hydrant po natin sa BFP, kumusta na po yun natin? Yung coordination po natin na halos may lahat ng fire station ay malapit na fire hydrant. Nasunod na po ba natin?
There is an ongoing coordination with the Bureau of Fire, even 911. Doon sa mga fire hydrants natin. Though the water district is the one providing the fire hydrants, we have to be strategically located also. At saka, meron din kasi issue on the extraction, the extraction of water from the fire hydrants. Those are non-revenue water as far as we are concerned. But we also, of course, have to protect, assist or provide them the necessary water supply for the fire protection of the city.
Hindi naman nakamit ko itong mga fire hydrants.
In terms lang po sa just to exact extraction, ganun lang. Pero of course, they do not pay us of any fee because that is our role in the fire protection is to provide the bureau with the water.
How about the engineering sa dito sa
We share the same sa yung illegal extraction talaga sa mga fire hydrants. In fact, ngayon may sa Digos, yung may initiative ako ay nag-create ako ng team or committee to collaborate with the fire fighters, not only on the Bureau of Fire, but then there are mga private fire volunteers. So meron kaming parang collaboration meeting in order para alam din namin yung programs ng Bureau of Fire or mga firefighters. Kasi nga, yun, I share the same sentiment with Ma'am Wilfred. Kasi minsan, walang sunog pero nag-extract. Alam mo na lang, parang ginamit, okay lang kung ginamit sa worst case na benta pa. Tapos, ang problema doon, kasi ang ano namin sa just like sa Digos, hindi naman sa ayaw namin. We provide, kasi hydrants are provided, one is for firefighting and also for regulation of our system. For example, yung mga mag-i-extract tayo sa in terms of water quality, meron tayong tinatawag din parang paano natin i-linisan natin yung system. So, meron din kaming designated na area kung saan lang pwede mag-extract kung hindi walang fire, days of fire, kailangan ng tubig. Tsaka, our din kasi makaka-effect din yung sa regulation ng pressure natin sa system.
So, itong mga sources from the fire hydrants, they are treated water.
Yes, sir. That's correct. So, kaya minsan, ang problema nga, ini-extract nila, hindi pa lang paalam, illegal, Tapos, they are panglinis lang.
Yes.
Minsan, may nanon na ako.
Pero may access na naman dito sa fire hydrants. Ano dito? Fire protection, right? Or is there any other
Pwede sila natin. Pero pag ano talaga siya, we have to coordinate with the water district. Kasi okay lang minsan in case of fire, wala na yung pero minsan ginagamit, maglinis lang sa mga establishment. Binabayaran din ng tao yung ano natin, yung tubig. Tapos, tsaka ang dami na nangangailangan ng mga tao, for this clean and potable water. Tapos kinukuha lang natin legally, tapos panglinis lang sa mga establishment.
Is there a plan na bigyan ng other source itong line ng for fire na hindi siya treated so far? Parang pang-fire lang talaga siya.
Kasi
Do you have plans for that?
ang ano talaga sir, one of the mandate ng ang pinaka-mandate talaga ng water district is to provide safe and potable water to the community. Hindi for fighting. Ano na lang yun, nasaling na lang yung hydrants for fighting activities.
Kung maging operational itong ating septage management, treatment facility, then we have this recycled water already, pwede na i-apon sa environment. Then we can supply them. That is if they will use it. Because medyo malayo. So, they can use it. Sa ngayon, talagang mula sa fire hydrant ang nakukuha nila. And yun lang, no, minsan there will be reports na sila, kumukuha sila just to clean the truck, clean the streets, and minsan pag makita namin, medyo siyempre, mahal yung treated water and drinking water. So hopefully, when our treatment plant will be operational, we can provide them the clean water already out of the septage.
Thank you, Sir Mike Pasco of True FM.
Good morning to Ma'am Claire. Ma'am, I don't know if na-hear it late kasi with the bulk water supply system, ilan pa itong barangay in 3rd and 2nd district na hindi pa na-serve, and yung plan for anong aasahan natin for 2025? Same also question for Digos, ilang barangay pa ang hindi pa naabot ng service ng Digos Water District?
Hopefully, with this supply of Pitamugan surface water, we can increase our barangay served to more than 65 more barangays. So yun ang target natin. But sa ngayon kasi to have the water, we don't have the lines yet. So yung lines yung ating which is another capex. No? May tubig pero wala main lines. The line will be established within maybe 6 to 10 years.
Okay. First district, wala natin problema.
First district is served by our production wells and part of that also from our surface water. So first district, meron pa rin tayong problema as far as lines. Because since we are already 51 years in operation, there are pipelines already, major transmission lines that has to be replaced already. So that's our, within the next 3 years, we are going to spend around 1.2 billion to replace the first transmission lines, what we call the line 2 and the line 1 and line 2. So we will replace that. We will reroute that because some segments of the line are under private properties already. So we cannot go into so we have to realign it or reroute it dito sa may MacArthur Highway.
Ma'am, sa 60 na barangays, ilan dito yung 3rd, yung 2nd, and 1st?
Majority of that is in District 2.
Particularly in...
District 2, I'm not with the specific barangays. Can I get
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Digos.
As I have presented earlier, the Digos Water District is serving 22 barangays up to 26. Meron tayong 4 na hindi natin na-serve, which is Barangay Soong, Barangay Kapatagan, Barangay Lungak, and Barangay Balaba. So, yun, 4. Kasi yung location nila sa masyadong mataas. No? In fact, imagine Digos going to Kapatagan. And also, the reason is, yung Barangay Kapatagan, they have their barangay water system also. So, hindi rin pwede na, kasi nga, meron yung sinabi na ni Ma'am kanina na wala na yung exclusive franchise of the Seawater District, wala na siya exclusivity sa in terms of operation. Pwede sila. So meron na yung yung barangay water system. In fact, sometime 2 years ago, we offered sa barangay Kapatagan water system na to give them technical assistance. No? Yun na lang ang na-extend namin in order to improve their system. However, kung mayroon naman silang pwede silang mag-turnover, so we can do something with an extent.
So upat, minus Kapatagan, so we have 3.
No, upat na lang sir.
Upat naman tayo.
Ang wala na lang.
Ang wala, tapos ang Kapatagan na naman siya barangay water system.
Ang ganang ba sa Warriors na alam ko because of itong mga program before ka sa SMAP. So, naana sila yung kailangang sariling water system. Kaso lang, dili siya yung tawag nito, ka-organized, okay? Because they have their own system. Unlike kung si Tigos Water District ngayon mag-operate, kasi nga yung technical capability ni Tigos Water District.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll have Rudolph of PIA.
General Manager Ma'am Mildred. Yung sa stage because part as PIA part ng ginagawa ko and kasama na monitor namin yung mata sa fecal coliform na mga sa Davao Libre. With the step page, drastically reduce yung ating fecal coliform count sa ating mga bodies of water.
No, that is not part of the program. So, yung program lang natin is the collection of the septage from all the houses and establishment, transported to our treatment plant, treat it, and then dispose of it na environment compliant na tayo. So, the bodies of water here is not part of that program.
You said about yung capex nyo parang kailangan na how will you raise it? Utang ba kayo or
Oh, okay. So how are we going to raise that fund? No? So that is why the water rates of Davao must be responsive to that plan. So kasi wala naman kami pinupuna. So of course the affordability and the affordability issue also of our consumers must also be considered. So either we have a loan because the 1 billion from for the septage we have already commitment from the land bank that they will lend us. The others, DBP actually and land bank also are available naman for the loans that we can get, aside from raising our own funds for some projects. We can only afford so much. Actually, we can only afford so much. That's why sa ngayon, meron kami existing loans from the DBP so that we can improve our systems.
Engineer, you said about part of the 10-year plan is to alternative source of water like yung surface water. Saan po yung identified nyo na source of surface water?
So, yun, tinitingnan namin, yun nga sir, we're looking into, may mga, yun nga sa mga matataas na, somewhere doon sa barangay Goma, barangay Garam, o para gravity na siya. Yun ang pinaan natin. Pero, yung pinaka-priority doon, while we still have kasi maganda yung natin, yung source ng groundwater natin, maganda yung water quality natin sa, ng Tigos. Makaka-benefit tayo being part ng sa Mount Apo. So, yung natin, yung location, we cannot say yun talaga, no? Well, but we're studying and looking into, in fact, yung mga sub-staff of the Tigos Water District, nagpupunta na doon sa Barangay Goma, Barangay Balabag, Barangay Suong, tinitingnan yung potential na surface water as an alternative method.
May timeline po kayo?
Yes, sir. Within a 5-minute period requirement na natin.
Okay, within 5 years.
Yes, sir.
Malapit din on 5 years.
Yes, sir.
We have a question for
Carlo Valero, Kailangan Digital. Good morning to our distinguished and esteemed guests, especially to our moderators of the Kalumayas. Okay. I would just like to give one question muna in regards to the either sa DCWD or sa Digos Water District. Within your knowledge about sa ginaingon na to, napapagihakoy records of the number of people na illegally nag-connect sa water from their households padulong sa dili kaayo na ingon na to nga doon man ang balay pero dili sila registered.
We have the illegal connections of people. Meron din talaga yan sa kahit saan system, meron yan. What we are doing right now is that meron kaming tinatawag na core project. This condemning lines na identified to be prone already to leaks at saka prone to illegal connection. So, ang ginagawa namin, pinapalitan namin yung isang stretch of lines so that lahat doon tatamaan. And then, make it legal already. Hindi naman natin siya but make it legal already. May mga ganun po. These are very expensive projects because we have really to spend para lang may tuwid yung ating water supply sa mga areas na ganyan. Meron din naman.
I ask this because I don't know how many percent ng mga residents na na-shock sila with the water bill kaya nung dapat tayo ilahang billing at di ay na sila nakakonect na wala kabalo sa uban like fly by night kumbaga.
Ay, bali yung iba yung natin sir na sinasabi natin na illegal connection or yung series doon na illegally tapping sa existing na connection. So far wala naman tayo nakita na yung nag-tap sila sa particular na service connection para tapos na sila sa bigla yung naglobo yung bill. Pero yung illegal connection talaga na nag-connect directly sa line ng water district, pag nakita natin na mayroong illegal connections, we are filing cases and informing them that they're doing illegal tapping. So, pag mayroong potential na nag-tap illegally, so yun, pinapadala namin ng notice. Tapos, we try to report na. Pero yung sabi natin ako, mayroon akong connection, tapos hindi ko alam na nag-connect, walang nangyari na.
Pero may mga legal connections, pero nag-distribute sila from within the area lang kasi they're in charge. Like for example, we also regulate or monitor itong mga apartment owners, itong mga residential na may mga dormitories na they charge different or higher perhaps. Parang yung mga ganito. So do you have any system of monitoring kung how much are they being charged?
Itong mga ganito, they are not illegal. They are legal also.
Yes.
Because they are connected. Kaya lang, multiple users lang sila. So the classification there is something like 2. So meron din sila, hindi sila treated as residential because they are considered commercial. Yung nagpapasa lang, let's say, sa borders nila or sa apartments na ilang doors yun, only one connection. So they are charged accordingly. So they're not illegal.
Pero yung may mga overcharging, for example, na parang they charge this much over na what is the intent. Kasi walang metro per apartment, for example. Or do you recommend na ganito dapat na gawin? Or kayo nagsasuggest na, sige, divide na lang ito from among them. Ganito yung consumo ninyo pinaka-cubic meter ang consumo ninyo. Divide na lang ninyo diya sa pinaka-balay, pinaka-homes occupied.
Kasi yung sa amin, kasi meron tayong tawag after meter and before meter. Yung mga cases na yun, before meter na yun, so sila na yung ang concern natin dito sa beneath sa meter. So, yun nga sinabi naman, yung mga gano'n, kasi especially consent mo sa may-ari, yun are legal din kasi dumadaan ng metro. So, if in case nakita namin na nag-distribute kasi nagbigyan sa kanila, yun, we're charging them as commercial. Yun lang ang tinatawag kasi hindi na namin alam yung paano nila ginamit yun. But yung sa mga apartments, we provide them by door yung connection. Yun ang pinaka-suggestion namin sa kanila. Yung para ma-ensure na balance yung distribution ng tubig sa kanila. Kasi wala naman tayong control o wala tayong control after the meter.
In case they complain, they complain to us, they have a very high billing from there, So what we do is we advise them, okay, you can have an individual meter connected to us. We advise them. That's the time we advise them. But yung internal arrangement, sometimes we are no longer party to that.
Right, last of my end, right before, for the sake of time management, I suppose. Ito, I know it is already frequently statement or panawagan, but of course, there are some certain individuals who would pretend or to take advantage using the insignia of the DCWD and the Digos Water District. Now, what would you advise to those consumers that they have doubts kung kinsa may magpataka o kung making money out of their kalokohan is supposed for using the insignia or the uniform of the DCWD and the Digos Water District?
May mga experiences kayo.
We have also yung mga tao na nagpretend to be water district employee and then going to the houses of our consumers as taking advantage of the So we ask them, just request them to show you their ID, or if you can have contact with the water district, you can call, ask them, validate the name of the person that you think na suspicious na identity ng person. Yes.
Sa Digos, ang experience lang siguro namin yung ginagamit ng office, solicitor sa mga suppliers, to which sinabi namin na hindi talaga. In the first place, hindi kami nagsosolicit. Pero yung mga, if in case mangyari na namin pumunta sa bahay-bahay, wala naman nangyayari na sa Digos Water District nagko-collect doon sa bahay. We have different magbabayan na sila doon sa office or yung mga different paying platforms. Wala talaga, hindi talaga offer disconnection ka tapos magbayad ka lang. Wala. We don't allow those on-site payments.
Thank you. We'll have the last question perhaps by Marvin of XFM.
So, good morning, ministers. Regarding either Codiga Sunisip o DCWD at sa Digos Water District, kumusta po ang ating monitoring assessment sa ating mga water sources? Lalo na dito, example na dito sa Davao City Water District, sa part din dito sa may barangay Tamugan. Lately, merong nahulat ng NBI ng parang big syndicate of quarrying. Illegal quarrying, and knowing that how kumusta po ang ating advocacy program to monitor our sources of water just to preserve po itong mga sources natin dito sa Davao City.
With regards to quarrying, we have not received any report that. And we also do our own monitoring sa sources naman. We have our one division in charge of that. And then we also, because of our partners, they also do their own monitoring of the water there. So, sa ngayon, as far as monitoring, we do our monitoring. Meron kami daily monitoring of our sa laboratory natin. We do our own monitoring of certain merong specified houses so within the service area that we do something. Doon naman sa river, meron tayong department division doing also that sa rivers naman, specifically doing something on the Tamugan River.
And so far,
So far, yung sinabi mo, we look into that, ano yung quarrying na yun. We have not received any report.
How about po dito sa atin?
Sa Digos naman po, kasi yung, for example, if you mean illegal extraction, yung mga illegal wells, that's the work of the National Water Resources Board. Si Digos, we focus on our operations of vision of water supply system. In terms of monitoring, ang ginagawa namin na monitoring our sources, yung mga pumping stations and yung mga wells natin, we do the monitoring on the static water level, the pumping water level. If in case there is the sudden reduction or depletion of this, so we have to consider anong adjustment namin sa operation. And also, in terms of ano naman, doon sa meron din tayong kanawag natin na corporate social responsibility, we do have some programs of watershed protections now. We have our watershed officer to go into such as yung tree planting activities with different stakeholders po.
Additional lang po, meron po bang mga barangay still na hindi cooperating po sa inyo, lalo na dito sa Davao City? Meron pang ilan ang mga barangays, maybe you mentioned na nasa 60 pa po ba ang mga barangay hindi pa na-connectahan po ng Davao ng lines po natin. Meron po bang services team na ayaw talaga po? Or baka kanya po mga barangays dito sa Davao City?
So far, wala naman kami na-experience ng barangay na refusing our assistance kasi siyempre nandito kami CSR sa kanila. O sino ayaw ng tubig, sino ayaw ng assistance, sino ayaw ng medical assistance or medical dental assistance. So far, wala naman kami ganong experience. Sila pala ang naghahanap sa amin, no? To be there, to be present in their community. And kung kaya namin tulungan, bakit naman hindi?
For my end, Christmas season is coming. And meron po ba kayong mga special services na inaasahan ng mga tao na, uy, pamasko, baka may pamasko ng logo, libre patubig na naman. Last November 9, may libre patubig na naman.
Sino nagtatanong, sir? Media o pagkaway?
Pero sa ngayon, tama po kayo, sir. Sa ngayon po, ay mabibigay lang namin ay kalendaryo para sa lahat ng ating mga konsyumante.
Another session po na, or another part po ng libre patubig para wala naman po siguro sa
It's under evaluation right now. We have not yet actually know the result of that one day patubig libre. So if it's favoring the consumers, why not? We can extend it naman.
How about po sa Digos?
Sa Digos, kasi nga, yun nga, the water district is operates as a government controlled operation. So meron kami mandate po na yun ang provide. We don't have any other program. Except during Christmas, we do some raffle. Meron kami raffle promo for those consistent early paying concessions. Meron sila. So subject, kasi we have to some limitations subject for the audit of the COA. Hindi kami pwede na patakalan.
Thank you, Marvin. Siguro sa other part, sir. Ano yung outlook po ng ating water situation in the next decades to come? We know there are a lot of rains coming in because of climate change, etc., etc. But ano po yung magiging outlook? Will there be less water sources eventually in the next 5 to 10 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, or 50 years? Sir? Ano ang outlook ng tubig? Because we know na water is basically, hindi naman siya unlimited. So, ano yung mga nahanda pa rin nagawa natin? Siguro thirdly will be if the disaster resiliency is hoping na magkaroon sila ng sariling Department of Disaster Resiliency, will that also be looking forward din po ba ang water districts na magkaroon ng Department of Water or something for all these states? Sige. Sir muna, sige ba isa?
Thank you, sir. Siguro outlook mo. Yun nga sinabi natin, water is a finite resource. Actually, there are around 1.4 billion cubic kilometers. That is the water revolving around the earth. It's either in the clouds, in the ocean, or beneath the ground. Only it's a finite resource. while we continue to grow, yung population natin na grow, and the same yung natin ng water, if that would, hindi naman, there would be an imbalance in the future talaga, in terms of water supply. Kasi nga, for example, yun nga yung sinasabi ng basic concept ng sa hydrology, yung water cycle natin. First, waters from the oceans evaporates, yung sa trees, evapotranspiration, then it condenses and precipitates. Some of which, we have these anthropogenic activities, yung human activities natin. We have these, yung mga vegetation covers natin, pina-convert natin into road pavements. Bihira na lang yung nag-infiltrate sa groundwater, of which mag-form parts sana as recharging water natin doon sa mga groundwaters natin. So, pupunta sila sa surface water, sa oceans. Hindi na malimit na yung natin for water, food, human consumption. Kaya nga, ang ano talaga, first is we have to conserve talaga water. Otherwise, if we don't do that conservation, there will be an imbalance in the future talaga. In terms of, very talaga yung water security natin. We don't focus on water security. We focus on national security. In fact, if you read yung books talaga, there are cases na water causes national security talaga. In fact, meron na yan nangyari, naghirap because of doon sa arid regions, naghirap talaga because of water. So, kailangan natin, in fact, meron pa tayo ngayong climate change, no? Yun ang nag-cause ng imbalance. So, yung precipitation, nag-iba na yung degree ng precipitation compared sa previous years natin. So, siguro sa akin, as dito tayo sa water industry, I would have suggested sa mga consuming public that we have to conserve water. Iwasan natin yung sobra tayong paggamit ng tubig na hindi natin ina-adjust to what we do need lang. Yun lang siguro, sir.
So, sa mga highly urbanized communities, ma'am, how do we further advocate or encourage our communities na to protect our groundwater also? Since, sa isang urban community, ang daming mga latrines, magawa ng mga septic tanks, especially living in the riverbanks. So, may mga advocacy po ba to protect our groundwater system? Since that will be our source. Karamihan kasi groundwater yung nating sources.
Yung situation na ni GM Franklin, so di ko na-expound pa yun. As far as Davao City, kung anong ginagawa natin, that's why we'd like to be in advance in planning. 10 years or 15 years. That's why ganun kalayo yung paningin namin because na water is finite. So, hindi natin, that's why yung ating mga programa, meron tayong watershed protection. That's why sinabi ko kanina, almost 1,000 hectares ngayon ang maintain namin. We would like to invite also yung ating mga stakeholders to be partner with us kasi meron kami tinatawag na adapt-a-site. So, establishment or an office can adopt 1 hectare for a certain fee, for 5 years, payable in 5 years to be part of our watershed protection. And ito namang and our CSR program also is geared towards naman the protection of all the watersheds. Hindi tayo nililimit natin sa anong kakayanan natin ngayon because in the future, mas kailangan pa natin mag-create ng kung ano-anong mga programa para i-address itong mga situations na ito wherein we are challenged with how much really is the available water in the underground or the surface water. So, hindi dapat tayo stop to study on what is, and Davao City Water District is always doing that. We would like to really be involved in the community kung ano yung kailangan para maprotektahan pa yung tubig. Kasi ang laki-laki ng Davao City, the largest in area, no? So we have not even than 70%. So, yung pag-aaral na yun ay ongoing parati. We are very dynamic in that kind of involvement sa community. And one of that is nga yung ating adapasal, no? Actually, we are going to have a stakeholders ngayong Friday, no? To invite more adapters to our watershed program.
Going back po doon, do you still need a water department or something? Or okay na yung mga water districts natin?
Hopefully, though there is an ongoing talks about creating a Department of Water. Sa ngayon, wala pa namang final yan, but the water district, siguro the water district hopefully will be positioned in such a way that we will not be, the water service will not be compromised. Because if this is politicized, no, the service, the water district operation might be compromised, and we do not like that. No, we would like to continue as water district, as mandated, as created by LUMA, which is the PD 198. We would like to continue that. Because it talks about the Department of Water, syempre, all the water stakeholders are already involved, like the fisheries, not only the drinking, because we're specific for drinking water or providing potable. So whatever, the decision of the national government, hopefully the water district operation of providing safe water and potable water for the community will not be compromised. We would like still to continue operating as such, because we believe that the water district setup is the best setup today.
Okay, so kumulan ng dagat si Sir. Maraming salamat po ating mga nanonood at sa ating mga media partners present here. Again, we'd like to thank our media partners, Brigada Balita Davao, AMCOM, the Philippine News Agency, Kadampan Digital, DXUM, Mindanao Times, PTV Davao, XFM Davao, we have SMNI Team, True FM, DXRD. Again, maraming salamat. Din po sa lahat ng bumubuo ng Davao City Water District for hosting and hosting our venue today. And of course, ang Digos Water District, sir, for sharing, especially sa ating mga vocals and technical teams for your support. At this point in time, maybe meron po yung mga panawagan, closing statements po para sa ating taong bayan. May mga reminders po ba tayo na ngayon may Christmas season, kaya mas marami magtubig kasi marami magluluto o maliligo. Baka may mga reminders po tayo sa ating mga Davaoenos. Pwede mag-start sa inyo?
Maraming salamat sa kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas for inviting us for today's program episode. And sa mga taga-Davaoenos, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtakilig ng tubig dito sa Davao. And we are very much appreciative of the support that the Davaoenos are giving us actually sa Davao City Water District. Rest assured po that we will continue serving you and providing you the best water dito sa Davao City. At meron po kami bagong programa, yung aming pong septage management program that will start in June, maybe second half of 2025. Yan po ay sadya po namin ay kokolektahin po namin yung mga septage po sa kanilang bahay, that you are given opportunity po to once every 5 years, your septic tank will be dislodged by us, and then will be treated po. And of course, meron din pong kaakibat yan ng fee, in which we will charge you po at more or less mga 3 pesos and 43 centavos for every cubic meters that you have consumed. But rest assured that you will have a chance that your septic tank will be dislodged once every 5 years. So yan po yung ating bagong servisyo po na inaalok ng Davao City Water District, which is our second mandate po. Ang unang mandate po namin ay magbigay sa inyo ng magandang tubig. At ang pangalawa po ay wastewater treatment po na tutulungan po namin kayo na malinisan po ang inyong mga septic tank once every 5 years. So maraming po salamat sa inyong suporta.
Looking forward sa 2025 ng bagong serbisyo ng ating Davao City Water District sa Digos naman po. Engineer.
So first of all, I would like to thank on behalf sa Digos Water District sa Philippine Information Agency for bringing us here sa kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. And also the Davao City Water District for having us here sa venue. And sa mga programs ng Davao City Water District, yung Davao City, they are continuously helping small water district like us. Sila nag-support. So, sa Digos Water District naman, we're encouraging sa mga concessionaires natin, yung mga may service connection ng Digos Water District to conserve water para meron tayong enough water for the future. Tulungan tayo, and we're addressing dun mga issues of concerns pertaining to the water supply natin ngayon. As of the moment, meron tayong 10 pumping stations. I have said earlier na hopefully at the end of the year, we will be commissioning now the 3 pumping stations that would address the supply issues in the Digos centers. So hopefully by Christmas season, maganda yung Christmas ng mga Digos centers because they will be experiencing an adequate water supply on their faucet at their households. And I would like also to take this opportunity to inform, invite yung mga concessionaires ng Digos Water District to pay their bills promptly so that they can avail our raffle bonanza. So it's a yearly annual raffle bonanza. That's to encourage and giving back also to the concessionaires of Digos Water District. Yun lang po siguro, and hoping and giving the Digos centers, particularly yung mga concessionaires natin, that the Digos Water District is continuously looking into or addressing that we will be providing adequate water supply sa Digos Center. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Again, maraming salamat sa ating resource person, si Engineer Franklin and Ma'am Mildred. Thank you very much. At tabayan po natin yung next kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas with the Cooperative Development Authority on December 3 at the Kairos Kitchen Obrero. So, ating mga media partners, we hope to see you again there. Muli po sa ating mga kababayan at Davaoenos, maraming salamat sa patuloy na tumatakilig po sa ating kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Muli po ito si Rene Carbayas ng Philippine Information Agency Region 11, ang PIN Davao.